Disclaimer, this video is not a step-by-step tutorial. Here... Самого початку. Disclaimer, this video is not a step-by-step tutorial. Here I will simply show a common design that I think a mistake, and I will show how to fix it. Of course, no negativity towards those who use it. Recently I needed an automatic crop farm in my flat world, so without thinking too much I opened YouTube to find a suitable design. And I found one from the literal god of building farms in Bedrock Edition, Silent Whisper. But when I built this farm I was very disappointed. Like, come on man, you were the chosen one. It was said that you would destroy bad farms, not building them. Bring a balance in the Big Salmon edition, not leave it in the darkness. In fact, this frustration is one of the reasons why I decided to record this video. In his defense I will say he was not only one who built such a design, and maybe it really worked in older version. I built it in 1.19 and no matter what I did it kept breaking, plus his other farms are quite good.
This is a simple and easy to build phantom farm for Minecraft Bedrock Edition.
So I decided to build a farm in my own way, and it turned out even better than I expected. So let's go. The first problem that I see is that nobody at all use bees, and I just don't understand why. They were introduced in the game a long time ago, like over 4 years ago, and in case if you missed it, bees have a great mechanic where after pollination they will fly into the hive, dropping pollen, and it basically works like a free unlimited bone meal. So why don't use it to increase productivity of the crop farms, while also getting honeycombs and honey blocks? Integrating a bee farm, it's not so difficult. I suggest using these two designs, one for honeycombs, other for honey bottles. For honeycombs it's very simple and without automatic loading of shears, because honeycombs drop out in very stupid way, which pretty complicates the design of auto-loading system, and at the same time durability of the shears it's enough for very long time, and putting them from time to time it's not a big deal. So this is simply the best easy option in my opinion. This is how it looks in the farm. The droppers are constantly activated by a fast redstone clock, so as soon as hive become full the honeycombs will be cut down. Very simple and very efficient. And this is my personal design for honey bottles. It's a bit more complicated because the honey bottles fall out in a very predictable way. So the automatic bottle loading system is easier to implement here. And my system is not so wasteful on bottles. For its operation it only needs 42 extra bottles for each dropper. Plus it will not break if the bottles run out. Just reloading bottles will take some time. This is how I implement this in the test farm. Now it uses slower redstone clock, and yeah, of course the delivery of bottles can be organized differently. And I also personally recommended to look at Silent Whisper design of bee farm, because it's pretty good. I tested my farms for a while and even built a control farm with no bees in it. Of course all tests were conducted with a day-night cycle, as if you like just AFK, and here are results on the screen. The difference in efficiency is really impressive. I also tested whether it makes sense to have more bees inside, so I created two identical farms, one with 3 bees per hive, the other with 6 bees per hive. Well, as I expected, where was more bees, the efficiency was better, because they were always bees that could not get into the hive, so they constantly pollinated crops under them, including at night, and those excess bees was occupied place in the hive during other bees fly to flowers, so that there always was bees in a hive and it was filled up with honey more often. Also during the testing I find out that 4 blocks of honey it's a bit not enough. as the villagers will collide with bees and it's probably reduce efficiency, and it's better to build a ceiling with 6 block of height, but I was too lazy to rebuild these farms. Later I built 6 block height version, and here are the test results. As you can see, even such a small farm, only 8 by 9 blocks, give a quite good results. But what if you need more? Well, then you can, for example, increase area of the farm. During testing I will create this absolute monstrosity with a field size of 14 by 15, and it's just wild. In this one crops grow so fast that one villager just couldn't harvest them all. So here you already need at least 2 villagers, and even with 2, they didn't always have time to collect all in a day. Unfortunately, I have some bee accidents during building this farm, so the results will be a little off, but it's still pretty impressive. I also do not recommend building an even larger field, since the farms must be chunky lined. Here I will use colored squares under the farm for marking the chunks, because there is a bug. Then when chunks are loaded, minecarts can stop between 2 chunks. Plus, at long distances, bees and villagers will have problems with pathfinding. So if you need even more resources, just build more modules, preferably one on top of other. Although within the boundaries of the chunk, the field can be any shape. For example, you can build fields in 6 by 16 to be able to build all farms in one line, and at the same time they were chunky aligned. You can split such a long farm in half. You can just build 6 by 8 blocks. You can even build it without any redstone if you, for example, playing Bedrock Flat World. But in this case, you will have to manually proceed the hives here. By the way, just pro tip, place water blocks under the walls. This will make possible to not use field blocks for water sources. The second problem is the resource collection system. In the Silent Whisper design, an additional villager used for this. The trick here is that one of the villagers must be clean. This means that he will have empty inventory, in which case the farmer villager will try to give him an excess resources, and ideally they will be absorbed by hoppers. The problem here is if this second villager does receive resources and his inventory stop being clean, the farm immediately breaks. Well, and I don't know why, maybe it's just a Bedrock bug, but for me this farm always broke within like half of an hour, so it's really unreliable design. Plus, such a structure cannot produce wheat, because the villagers will turn wheat into bread, and in my opinion it's extremely big minus. So I suggest using hopper minecarts, as it is fairly cheap and simple, and at the same time it's quite reliable method. Also, in my unloading system I just use hoppers under the rails, because I don't like to mess with redstone. But of course you can build a more elaborate system such as this guy do. And here I will make an important announcement. Dear YouTubers, stop using blocks to power rails. Of course, I don't know, maybe I'm from a poor family, but 4 block for redstone rails? That's a 9 piece of redstone, that's crazy. Do you know how much redstone is actually needed to power rails? 0. You need 0 redstone, you just use cobblestone. Just put a switch under the rails and that's it. Or if you don't have access to cobblestone, you of course can use 1 piece of redstone or a redstone torch. It all works identically. If you are really tight with redstone, then instead of minecarts you can use only hoppers. This is what I did in my Flat World farm, before that I came up with this very ethical witch farm. But this option has a downside. Hoppers will absorb items faster than villager can pick up them. So from time to time the villager inventory will be empty, and you will have to give them some seeds again, and maybe even replace those villagers who collect beetroot and wheat. And at this point, one more very important clarification. in beetroot and wheat farms, you need to make sure that villager's inventory is filled with the seeds. For this, before delivering him to farm, give him 8 stacks of seeds, so he will not be able to pick up wheat or beetroot, only their seeds. And yeah, that's all. That's basically end of my complaints, so I will give you a quick summary. Use bees, they are cool. Hide water inside the walls of the farm. Use mine carts to collect resources. Chunk align it. You are not millionaires, so save redstone when use powered rails. Before using volunteers, fill their inventory. Drink water. Sleep properly, and at this point you can go and build your own farm. And also, if you are noticed some mistakes in my speech, please leave a comment about it, because I'm still learning how to speak on English, so it will be very helpful to me. I wish you all good luck and peaceful sky.